And shalom, shalom.
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 We good?
Checking. Yeah, we good.
And shalom. It's your brother, Great Millstone Charlotte, come with another live lesson to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah. First and foremost, we want to start by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh,
I will.
Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakar HaKadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, shalom.
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 So tonight, we're going to touch on a lesson, going into our kinghood, man, right? Us being that royal priesthood, as we'll get into, right? We're being developed into those kings, right? All the adversities and trials that we go through are teaching us, how to move as a king would move, man, right? It is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that we've been blessed with is given to us so that we can make decisions that a king would make, man. So that we can go about our walks. Though we be in captivity, we can have the mindset, of a king, man.
Uh-huh. All
Mhm.
right.
May I
Who
get
was
a
that?
quick precept, Baba Kusha?
Go ahead, bro.
Khan. This is the book of Luke, chapter 17 and verse 20. It says, "And when he was demanded of the Pharisees when the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai should come, he answered them and said, The kingdom of God cometh not with observation, neither shall they say, Lo here or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is within you." Okay. And that kingdom is constantly being fashioned to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's liking, as the brother has said, within our walk. Okay. So we have to continually ready our minds to be able to enter into this steed of kingship.
Uh-huh.
Got precept. This is Revelation chapter 1 and verse 6. It says, I'm sorry, verse 5, it says, "And from Yahweh Shah Mashayak, who is the faithful witness, and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loved us and washed us from our sins in his own blood," because Mashayak Yahweh Shah went up on the cross. And it says, verse 6, "And hath made us kings and priests unto the Most High and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen," which, like priest goes into, we're pretty much being, it's an audition or not a simulation, but a simulation, so to speak, if you will, of kingship, rulership. Because we're being groomed up and we're being trained and we're getting the different experiences, so that we know what to do when we ultimately get those crowns. Otherwise, we be a part of that number.
All right.
That's right.
I got one. This is First Peter chapter 2 and 9. It says, "But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and a holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." Because just reiterating the fact that the brothers is going into of how the Lord made us a nation of kings and priests, man. And as Quantum was saying, our walk is being fashioned to pretty much act like the royal people that we are, man. So the whole point of what we're learning in this truth is how the Lord's preparing us for the kingdom. All right, we have to put our mind states in the we got to put our mind in the state of how a king will operate and everything that we do, man. And that's what the Lord is teaching us in this walk, man.
Okay. Because
And
when you go
everything
through
is
our,
all centered.
that's like,
It's like I was gonna say, everything is all centered around us, praising Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. Because the Lord is making us, into kings that's gonna rule the earth, man. You got it, bro.
God, I was just gonna say, as the precepts that you guys brought out, right? We're being, fashioned into that holy priesthood on this side, and being holy, we have to be separate from certain things, man. There's certain disciplines that a prince, is put through in order to become that king, man. Right, and that's what we're going through right now is developing that discipline, developing the character traits that a king will carry, man. Because we have examples of kings, who gave themselves over to their lust or fell victim to different character flaws, man. So the Lord is purging these things out of us on this side, so that when we finally get put in that rulership seat, we can rule righteously, man.
Uh-huh.
Khan.
Is that
You
like
know,
you were saying? The Lord is pretty much bringing us up because, like you said, the king has always started out as a prince first, man, and then as you're in you're being brought up to pretty much learn on how to be a king. All right, you had tutors, you had different people who was pretty much teaching you the affairs of how a king is supposed to be, man. So that when you succeed into the throne, all right, you're able to rule, correctly, so that your kingdom will be lasting. All these different period pieces, movies that we can watch, and shows that pretty much show you this. We're actually living this out in our walk.
That's right. So I'm gonna jump into this article off of healthyleaders.com. It reads, "Act like a king." As you're going into it, it says the regal bearing of a king is not revealed by outward extravagance, but by character and attention to the well-being of those influenced by his leadership. Certain actions and attributes are not fitting for a king. And we're seeing that, we have to continually separate ourselves from this world because the ways that these people continue to live in are not fitting for kinghood, man. Right? You can't do the majority of the things you see other people do, man, because you're being raised up as a prince, right? So you're being taken away from the rest of the world, and as the precept may mention, you're being put with those tutors, man, right? You're being put with those teachers, in order to be groomed into that future ruler, man.
Can I get so like,
Go.
could I get I wanted to get this word for first fruits, essentially, because that's what the elect is. Let me get all right. It says, it reads. I'm gonna pick up the article as well. First fruits, it says about war. All right, and it says H1061. So let me get this root word. It says be born first. It says to make as first. All right, and it says new fruit. It says it's a lot seasonable. Pretty much the point. The firstborn is the best. The best of the class. That's what I was looking for, but I didn't see that definition. But pretty much the elect is the best. So the best can't do the same things that everybody else does, like you was going into. Like when you take guys like Kobe. You took guys like I'm not into basketball, but you hear about it. Kobe, LeBron. They had a story like they all got up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. And the dude Carmelo, he was pretty decent, but he wasn't at the top. But the top ones always make those sacrifices. The elect's gonna make those sacrifices in righteousness, like we're going into.
Right.
Hey, we have a higher responsibility than the rest of the world does, man. Right? So we can't afford to get caught up out here the way Jake, the way they are, man. That's why scriptures tell you measure the times when you be amongst the indiscreet, man. Because you have to be very careful of the time and energy that you put towards different things because it's taken away from more important matters, man.
Where were you at in the article?
You can jump down to point number 1.
It says a true king. It says resist fleshly indulgence. A king is in a privileged position and has resources available to him that others cannot access. A position of leadership should be used to bring people into truth and freedom, but abuse of power brings people into subjection, confusion, and even sin.
Right. And what's the true resources right now, man? It's this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Right? You brothers who are out here teaching, right? You believers who have been blessed with this as well, right? You've been given access to something that's available to you, and the others can't access it, man. Right? The election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Right? So we have that access, and like it says, a position of leadership should be used to bring people into truth and freedom. Right? You're being freed by this word, man. You're bringing people into this truth, right? By spreading those seeds, man. Us being those husbandmen, right? And it says to be used to bring people into the truth and freedom, but abuse of power brings people into, let's say, subjection, confusion, and even sin, because there are those who people believe have the truth, right? Going into these pastors or even these other Israelite camps with these wayward doctrines, man. People, believe this, and it's power in that belief, but it's bringing them into what? Subjection under Satan, ultimately, confusion and sin, man.
Okay. I had a precept for you.
Okay.
Because it's saying you gotta pretty much, separate yourselves from, pretty much things that's going to destroy you. All right. So this is 2 Corinthians 6 and 17. Actually, I start at I started at 14, but the point is in 17. So it says, 2 Corinthians 6:14, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion have light with darkness? Because as it's saying, we have to, put off, fleshly lust that can destroy you, different things that as kings, you can't just indulge in the things that the common people do, man. You got to have a higher level of discipline, because as a king, you are a leader, and so you can't pretty much do what you see everybody else doing, because you're held to a higher standard, like we said earlier. So as us being that noble people, okay, we're not going to equally yoke ourselves with people that's beneath us, and we say that humbly, because these people out in this world, man, they're into all type of bullshit that's destroying them, man. Committing adultery, being a mo, all right, giving themselves over to these different lusts, these demons or whatnot. All right, so we're trying to elevate while these people are destroying themselves, man. So it says, verse 15, and what concord have Hamashiach with Belial, and what part have he that believeth with an infidel, and what agreement hath the temple of the Most High with idols? For ye are the temple of the living power, as Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua have said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their power, and they shall be my people. So like what Atazuan read earlier about how we are the kingdom, all right, the kingdom of heaven dwells within you. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, all right, is commanding us to pretty much, keep our temple pure, because the Lord's Spirit is dwelling us, and as we get the power, coming to when Yahushua returns, man, we're going to be able to establish the very rule that the Lord is teaching us how to do to the rest of the world, man. All right.
Yep.
Verse 17 says, wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. And that's pretty much having that temperance, to where we're not giving ourselves over to the lust of the flesh, all right, the ways of Babylon, which is meant to destroy kings, man.
Exactly.
Okay. And Prince, when you get that word unclean, it talks about being ceremonially unclean for the Levites, and understanding that they were the priesthood of the first covenant. The priesthood of the second covenant is going to be the men of Israel, man.
That's right.
So you have to be separate from these unclean things, because you are occupying the duties of a priest, man.
That's right.
Yep. I had a precept, if I may.
Okay.
You got it.
Because I wanted to point out that point that was made. It said a position of leadership should be used to bring people into truth and freedom, but abuse of power brings people into subjection, confusion, and even sin. And when we consider, again, as our lots, all right, being put in a position of opportunity, all right, to have the position of being first fruits, the first class, the best of the nation of Israel, that comes with a certain walk, all right, a certain conversation, a certain discipline. This is 1 Peter 1:15. It says, but as he which have called you is holy, holy meaning separate, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation. Okay, and conversation, all right, is not just speech, right? Conversation is your feelings, your thoughts, and opinions, all right, pursuant to the free dictionary. Okay, so it's pretty much it encapsulates your entire being. Okay, it says, verse 16, it says, because it is written, be ye holy, for I am holy. Okay, so we have to pretty much separate our conversations from the ways of the world. All right, and we have to walk with wisdom to those that are without. All right, because we can't dumb ourselves down to the vibration of these people. Okay, that would be working backwards. All right, as we continue to elevate and grow in the spirit through the grace and mercy of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, these people got to do that. It's a video of that rapper Snoop Dogg pretty much talking about closing the gap. How when he was ascending into stardom, he had to disassociate himself from other people that he once was cool with, because of the fact that they were in two different playing fields. And the only way that they can keep going with him is if they moved up the ranks. Okay. Right. So with having this position of leadership, we can't abuse that power. We can't mishandle, all right, these spiritual gifts. Okay. Because we are going to ultimately be leaders. We're leaders right now. Okay.
Can I get a couple? This is Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, "A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered." Are essentially having doing everything one way, and that one true way is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures. Because we see and we have experienced rulership under Esau, Edom. We see that's not well ordered. Verse 2: "As the judge of the people is, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein." You see, and we can see this. It says as the people is, so like as the judge of the people is himself. All right, and that's essentially somebody that's going to overuse things, the resources that they have. Someone that's going to destroy things. That's ultimately not going to be for the welfare of the whole commonwealth, the whole state. And how Esau does. He had nastiness going on inside his different like the White House and stuff like that. So that's essentially what we see in society. Verse 3: "An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited." And ultimately, to have a city or anywhere to be inhabited, it has to be a wise king, and that wise king is going to go through, like an academy. That's why when we seen like in the movies, you'll see like they was training them up. You saw Coming to America. Which that's probably like one of the only examples that we'll see. But pretty much, they trained them up to be from a prince to a king. It's essentially what's happening and what's taking place with the elect.
I got something to add to you. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus. Oh, you read 3. Never mind. Yeah, you got it.
Back to the article.
Yeah, you can jump back.
God says, "Consider Dawadah David calling Bathsheba into his presence. She could have resisted, but when pressure is coming from a person of power and influence, standing up for the truth requires much more strength. A true king will not waste his influence capital on personal indulgence."
Right. So that was a lack of discipline, on David's part, right? And that's why he could teach Solomon the way he did, because he's teaching from his past failures, man. And that's why we're being granted the mercies of David as well, because we, Lord willing, we be of that number, have been those priests that were ordained, those kings that were ordained from the beginning of time, but we continue to chase after our lust, man. Right? We continue to follow in the ways that we're going after the world, man. Right? But like it says, David used his position of power and influence, in a sinful way, man. And that's not befitting of a king, man.
Number 2, resists escapism in time of pressure. Proverbs 31:4-6. "Let those who have..." Did you want to get that?
So I got it right here. That's weird. I literally just had that, so I'll read it. Proverbs chapter 31. I'm gonna start at verse 3. It says, "Give not thy strength unto women, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings."
God, look, your strength is in your attention to various circumstances, man. Right, your time, the energy that you put forth. Right, the more attention you show stuff is the power you're giving unto it, man. So if you're giving your power, to women or whatever it be, man. Right, you're giving your attention, your energy into things that aren't profiting you, man. Right, it's ultimately going to destroy you, because that's going to be a vice. It's going to be an attacking point for Satan ultimately, man. That can pull you back, into the world.
It says, "It is not for kings of Lamel. It is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes strong drink. Lest
Right,
they..."
no, it's not. God, you can finish that, please.
It says, "Lest they drink and forget the law and pervert the judgment of any of the afflicted."
So it's not saying don't drink, right? It's be moderate, right? Don't drink to the point of drunkenness, right?
Before you get there, I wanted to add to that, because the thing about what it's saying for that, like as a king, as a leader, you don't want to get yourself to a point to where you're drunken, in a state of drunkenness in front of your the people that's under you, because that shows a sign of weakness.
Exactly.
You can't discipline yourself. So as a king, you're supposed to have a level to where you can pretty much how you're how I want to word this.
Tactful.
Pretty much. Go ahead.
No, it's, pretty much you saying like tactful, you know, and it's a certain decor.
Hey, finish out that section in the article real quick, because that's gonna go exactly into what Priest is saying.
Okay. It says, "Let those who have no hope resort to escapism," advises the wise mother. The king must remain alert in possession of all his faculties at all times. He cannot afford to let himself fall into a stupor that will erode the respect of others and have devastating consequences should an attack of the enemy occur. Leaders are not perfect, but they cannot afford to be careless and sloppy.
Okay, you can go to that first.
A brother can break it down. This is Bonsurat 19:2. It says, "Wine and women will make men of understanding to fall away, and he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent."
Right. So you don't want to be, overindulging in, women. It says wine, but that wine is, spiritual wine as well. But because at the end of the day, you're as a king, the strongest thing that you rely on, man, is the truth, man. All right. The order that you were brought up in is what's going to help you, stay on course and, rule your kingdom the correct way. Because as you see under Esau, his rulership, we're seeing how he's treating, the world under his, because he's the king of the world right now, man. And you see how he's pretty much letting indulgence pretty much just run rapid to where these people have no self-control. But they're learning this from the very man that's ruling, man, because as we read in Sirach, all right, as the king is, so are the people. So as you see, Esau, he's running the world dry, draining all the resources. All right, he's not restraining himself, and so the people have learned to be like that, and this is why society is all tore up, man. So, hey, you got to have a high level of discipline, okay, for you to be a ruler, because these things can be used as, like you said, tactics for Satan to come in and destroy you. Because when you go into history, different accounts of rulers and all that, they fail because of their lust for women. All right, they were drunks. They drunk for power. But without that, the truth pretty much being the backbone of everything that they do, how they think. We have this wisdom. This is what is prepping us up, like how when King Solomon was being prepped by King David. So I want to add to what Yoram just read. This is 1 Ezra 4:37. It says, "Wine is wicked. The king is wicked, women are wicked, all the children of men are wicked, and such all their wicked works. And there is no truth in them. In their righteousness also they shall perish. As for the truth, it endureth, and it is always strong and liveth and conquereth forever." So the truth is always the thing that you rely on, man, because a lot of the reasons why these past rulers, they failed because they didn't operate with truth, man. They just operated off of lust, man, and that lust for power, lust for women, whatever it was, led to their downfall, man.
That's it. And like you mentioned, this is why we're seeing Esau falling right now, right? Because he's been in this lustful state. He's been in that drunkenness, right? In the like it says in the article, he can't afford to let himself fall into a stupor because that will erode the respect of others and have devastating consequences should an attack of the enemy occur. And we're watching them, the respect that's been lost for these Edomites, man. Right? These nations no longer fear, Babylon the Great and their subsidiaries, man. Right? It says, the leaders are not perfect, but they cannot afford to be careless and sloppy. And we're watching Esau continually grow into that careless, sloppy nature, man. And that's why things are starting to spiral out of control. He's losing all control. He's in this last grasp to hold on to his power, man, because he's given into these lusts, man. Or he is that man of lust ultimately.
Exactly.
Go ahead, finish. Number 3.
Okay, go.
Number 3. It says, "Has deep concern for others." Proverbs 31 verses 5 to verse 9. There is a book entitled "Leaders Eat Last." Do you want me to get those?
You can finish reading and we'll get the precept.
Okay. It says, I haven't read it, but I get the message. The leader, like Yahushua, is one who serves. He is not demanding to be served by others. His heart is tuned to the love of the Most High with special care for the defenseless, often typified by the widow and orphan. He is angered by oppression and maintains his resolve to be the solution and not to add to the problem. A byproduct of his concern and service to others is the growth and enrichment of his allies and co-workers. The condition of a people reflects the nature of their leader, for good or bad. Just as the king is fed by the peasant's field, a leader is strengthened by the bonds of love and fruitful labors of healthy followers. Proverbs 20 and 28.
And like you were reading that what was it, Sirach second chapter, right? You know, 10th chapter, slide, yeah. So that's right, 10th chapter, right? The results of a kingdom, you know, they start with the king, and he's and the people are a reflection of his rulership, man. So we see we're in the most wicked rulership ever. It's because you know, we're being ruled over by the most wicked individual in history, man. Right? But when righteousness is established and we're being groomed in righteousness, right? You train up a child in the way which he shall go, right? And he shall not turn away from it, man. So we're being trained up in this way so that righteousness can be permeated throughout the earth. And like I said, as the king is fed by the peasant's field, a leader is strengthened by the bonds of love and fruitful labors of healthy followers. You know, so it's on the king to make sure his followers, you know, are in a good estate, man. Right? Because then the kingdom can flourish to its full potential, man.
Yeah.
I had a precept.
Can you go?
Priest, you was gonna make a point?
No, I was just agreeing with you. Got it.
Con, this is Deuteronomy 6 and verse 7. It reads, "And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shall talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as the frontlets between thine eyes, and thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gates." Essentially, this is to say that the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua are to be magnified, okay? And what we see, the frontlets of our eyelids, when you blink, it should be right there, right? When you're talking with your children, right? The scriptures speak about how if you raise up a child, they shall not depart, roughly paraphrasing, right? And this is something that's pretty much to be permeated, right? And it's our duty, all right, as we've been discussing, as future rulers entering into kingship, to lead by example and to promote righteousness, okay? Because as we see, this world is continually promoting wickedness, and we see the fruit of it. As the brother Yawam had brought out Sirach, the 10th chapter. Imagine a world where righteousness is the standard and being permeated and promoted in the world. We wouldn't have a lot of the problems that we see today.
Yeah. Because the question, you know, you should be asking is how do you establish a righteous kingdom, man? You know, it's all predicated around Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, man. I want to get this real quick. This is Proverbs 25 and 2. "It is the glory of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter." All right, and as we know, according to Sirach 39, okay, a wise man will be, you know, into the scriptures, man. All right, and all the deep mysteries, the dark parables and all that. And a king is going to be searching that out, man. You know, and that's how he's going to figure out how to rule his kingdom. Because, like it says in the Book of Wisdom of Solomon 6, that wisdom leadeth to a kingdom, man. All right, and through you having wisdom, that's it's going to preserve your kingdom, man. All the kingdoms of the world fell up until this point because wisdom is not being applied. That's why the world needs a righteous rulership that's going to be predicated around ruling with wisdom, man.
God. May I get a quick example? I just wanted to get another precept tied into that promotion of righteousness, right? Because as we know, our people are very impressionable, right? So again, as people that are walking with wisdom, right, and we see, like as a brother priest had referenced, Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 20, how the desire of wisdom bring it to a kingdom, right? We have to continually promote this, right, in our day-to-day walk, and that's shown forth, like it says in the in this third example, that shows forth our concern for others, right? Our concern for our nation, to want them to be the best that they can be, having our hearts, our minds in tune with the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. This is Deuteronomy 10 and 12. It says, "And now, Israel, what doth the Lord Yahweh thy power require of thee? But to fear the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua thy power, to walk in all his ways, and to love him and to serve the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, thy power with all thy heart and with all thy soul. And we magnify this in our walk, right? We magnify this in our conversation, right? And we magnify this as the scriptures tell us to do. We walk with wisdom to those that are without, right? We're constantly pushing forth that vibration of righteousness throughout the world as Israelites. Verse 13, it says to keep the commandments of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. Okay. So when we see our people in this fucked up predicament, what are we doing? We're supposed to uphold the standard of righteousness. We're supposed to uphold as kings the proper way to lead our people and instruct them so that they can be in a good case, because this world is showing our people a way that's going to lead to their death and destruction.
That's right.
That's like it says, man, it has a deep concern for others, man. It don't get deeper than this, man. Right? This is the most concern that you can have towards your people, man. It's to want them to be living a righteous life, man. And ultimately to want us to be delivered, out of this place, man. Right? We want to see this place destroyed so that a truly righteous kingdom can be lifted up and established, man. We don't want to see, this place continue on in wickedness, because like it says here in Proverbs 16:12, it is an abomination to kings to commit wickedness, for the throne is established by righteousness, man. Right? So kings that commit wickedness, right, they allow wickedness to permeate throughout the entire society, man. And we're coming, at the behest of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, to with a great concern for our people, man, because we see the decrepit state that they're in, and we know the only way out is to come back and to serve the Lord, man. Yeah,
because as a king, all right, you're pretty much, your view of of a righteous world, you will want that to be as pretty much your vision to make the world better, man. But like, cause when you look at the different movies, or you look at just history period, all the kings that ruled at some point in history, they all had their vision of how they wanted their kingdom to be, and so how they ruled was their inner vision of what they thought their kingdom would be. So for us, all right, our vision is Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai's vision, and that begins the kingdom is each and every one of us in our walk is building our kingdom of how we see it through our eyes, and it starts with us building making our conduct align with Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai's, and then as we continue to grow and the Lord gives us that power, eventually, Lord willing, after this place is destroyed, we'll be able to really put that vision in reality as we fix the world, we put the heathen in subjection, and we're able to glorify Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai the correct way that he was supposed to be glorified by, like I said, set creation back in order so that everything is giving praise to the Lord like it was created to, man.
That's right. Absolutely.
You can jump back in, Yawan.
It says number 4 has a serious attitude, knowing that impulsive behaviors can have destructive consequences or set something in motion difficult to stop or reverse. A person with authority must be careful with his words, both spoken and written. A rash email sent in the heat of a moment can't be recaptured. Anyone can do harm with words, but a leader's reckless words carry greater weight and have wider influence. Leaders know this and weigh their words and actions accordingly. I get a precept.
Right.
You go ahead and get your point. I'll do it after that.
Well, pretty much you gotta be careful what you speak. You gotta be careful what you teach. You gotta be careful what you say around certain people, right? You have to, always be, what's the word?
Circumspect.
Circumspect. Right? You have to be circumspect in all things, as the scriptures tell us, man. Right? You have to understand that, what you say can have dire consequences down the line, And as a king's, your word it carries more weight than the average person's, man. Right? Your decision making carries more weight than the average person. That's why you could do the same thing Jake does out here, but you get punished more harshly for it, right? Because the Lord has a higher expectation from you, man. Right? You just can't do and say what you want to say, man. And we see that, judgment about to take place in the earth for, these false teachers, people leading our people astray, because what are they doing, man? they're speaking recklessly, and they don't realize the weight that these words carry, man. They don't understand the consequences of their actions, man. So as
Yeah,
kings, you have to know that when you say something, there's a heavy thing, heavy what's the word? It's a
consequences.
heavy consequences behind that, man.
Kind. And I can give you an example of that. I forget where it's at, but you have I forget his name, but the one of the sons of eventually that came out of King Solomon, who pretty much whenever he ascended to the throne, he had got counsel on pretty much how should he rule over the people, and pretty much instead of hearkening to the counsel of the older men, he hearkened to the counsel of people that was in his age range, and pretty
Right.
much he made the bans on the people even harder. He taxed them more and all that. That's what eventually led to the rebellion. Under his rulership, I think that's when the kingdom started to split. You
We're
know?
talking about Rehoboam.
Yeah. The water.
Can I get this real fast?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Kind of that article pretty much it said it's better, I'm gonna read again. It says has a serious attitude knowing that impulsive behaviors can have destructive consequences or set something in motion difficult to stop or reverse. I want to get Ecclesiastes Quahalath chapter 7 and verse 4. It says verse 3, sorrow is better than laughter, for by sadness of the countenance the heart is made better, because ultimately the scriptures say the scriptures is a book of lamentation, mourning, and woe. So it's better to be serious minded than to always be joking around, because the scripture also say that by man's gait, how he looks, if he's always laughing, that show what he is. So if you always laughing, that's a fool, and that's pretty much who Esau Edom has set up in this society. The leaders, the leaders of Jake today, in the world is you got comedians, you got entertainers, and entertainers. People you can't really take serious. Someone that's a leader is an entertainer. Pretty much being in the heart of laughter. But I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, like an example of what you're saying. You got niggas like Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was one of the best big men in the NBA, man, but nobody took him serious because this nigga was goofy. That's why they had their whole like top 75. I think that was the list of like the players and whatnot, and it was like he wasn't respected around the league because he was always goofy. That's why when he went to go play with Kobe didn't respect him. He didn't play with a few greats, and nobody took him serious because this nigga was always goofy and joking around and shit, man.
Right. Verse 4, it says the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. And it's ultimately better to be in the house of mourning because it's a particular seriousness, your focus. Whereas like if you always laughing, you got you're not focusing, you got like it's not tunnel vision, but you're not aware, you're not circumspect of the stuff that's around you. And as a ruler, you got to be focused and have your attention directed on the things that matter.
Think about that. What is there to really be in a spirit of mirth about?
Nothing.
Right? We're literally, as the brother priest had made mention of, we're those pieces, right? Those stones, a part of that temple, right? So the kingdom is within us. Lord willing, we be a part of the elect. So we have nothing to be happy about because we seek for a kingdom, as the scriptures tell us, where righteous dwelleth therein. This place ain't promoting anything that brothers would really want to see. It just promotes everything that's adverse to the will of the Lord. And we understand that we have to have, as it's a saying right here, to have a serious attitude, have a perspective, all right, of being circumspect and know that we have a position of authority, all right, through the Holy Spirit to promote righteousness to our people and tell them this is the right way, walk ye in it. You can't deliver that message. Like, no, that's not how this message is to be delivered. It's to be delivered sternly to our people.
Right. I got a precept for y'all.
I got one too.
It's Ecclesiasticus chapter 21 and verse 20.
That's the spirit.
God. A fool lifted up, you can break that, priest. A fool lifted up his voice with laughter, but a wise man doth scarce smile a little.
Yeah, because a wise man is serious, man. Just to add to that real quick, This is Ecclesiastes 1:18. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. So, like Tasman said, we don't have anything to really be jovial about in this captivity. Now, we have the truth and all that, but as far as, like you said, walking around laughing and joking all the fucking time, nah, man, because you're not in a serious state of mind. Because if you knew what was really going on and what the Lord's about to do, we don't have nothing to be joking about all the time, man. It's serious matters that we're dealing with, man. We're dealing with kingly matters as we speak amongst each other, man. We joke here and there, but for the most part, it's our conversations be serious, man. And that's how it is when you having wise counsel amongst men. All right, laughter is very seldom done, man.
Right. That's right.
A man that laughs and smiles and all that shit all the time, like you one quoted earlier, man. You can tell that man, he's you can't really do nothing with that dude, man. Because he's not aware of what's going on, man.
That's right. You can jump back to that, you want.
Back to the article, it says has authority to take action and succeed, and with authority, it's an energy, so you got to be respected. Somebody that's always laughing and joking and ain't really taking things seriously, not gonna have that type of authority, to take the action and succeed with it. If I can say, you about to say something, Priest?
No, I was gonna say it's a movie line that was referenced all the time, where it's pretty much like, you would rather be feared than loved, man. Because like they was talking about I might be mixing movies up, but
Bronx Tale.
Was that one when he was like, "Am I funny? Do I look funny?" All that. I don't know.
That's a different one.
I think that might be like The Sopranos or some shit like that. But it's like, I'd rather be feared than loved, man. Because as a king, it's like we look at Yahushua, man. You ain't going when you're dealing with the Lord. We're not going to be talking to him, joking and shit. It's going to be serious, man. And that's how that level of respect has to be there, because there's fear there, man. If you're that's like with your children. The scriptures talk about, pretty much don't laugh with your son, because then that too much, because that dulls the level of respect between the two, to where that's why these children now don't respect their adults, man, because that parent-child line has not been established. So that's just why the respect is gone, man.
Okay. I got a quick precept for you. It's Proverbs 20:2. The fear of a king is as the roaring of a lion. Whoso provoketh him to anger sinneth against his own soul. Because like you said, that it's a healthy fear at the end of the day, man. Right? You understand rank and order, right? You understand that this man has preeminence over me right now, man. Right? So you're not going to be in a state of trying to put yourself right next to him, man. Right? And as a king, you're not going to put yourself next to them. Right? That's why you have to maintain that seriousness, or you have to maintain that distance, because people can get too close, right? And now they think they're on the same level as you, and they don't take your decision making as seriously, man. They don't hold you in high regard. They don't trust you, when things start to go left, because they see you as themselves. And that's what we're dealing with Jake right now, because they see us, just as themselves, right? They look at us like we're nothing different from what they are, man.
Right.
Exactly.
That's why going back to what we was talking about earlier, where it said we're not supposed to be, getting overly drunk and doing all that with the peers, because at the end of the day, that level of respect has to be drawn, because our whole thing is we don't want to offend the king, which the king and what we're talking about is Yahushua, man. But that's how it's always been throughout any rulership, man. That you walk on eggshells when you're around the king, man. Because one offense can cost you your life, man.
Continuing on, it says a wise king invests in his realm with extensive building and skills development.
Intensive.
Oh damn! What I say? Intensive.
Slip of the tongue.
Extensive. Damn. It's a lot. It says intensive building and skills development. When an attack comes, he and his people are ready to meet and overcome the enemy. A leader who invests in his people will have the support and empowerment of others to overcome obstacles and achieve goals.
And establishing the kingdom in righteousness, right? But first of all, we're not going to have to worry about attack, and there's going to be no more war in the kingdom, right?
Uh-huh.
But the people are going to trust the decision making because they've been made in righteousness, man, and they're going to see, everything that is being built up is better than the previous, man, right? That's why it tells you in Revelation that the former things are passed away, man. Right. So the former ways of thinking, the former ideologies and all things of that nature are going into even the buildings of this place, right? Will be of no remembrance because once you start building, right? Well, like I said, intensive building and skills development, right? All these things are intensified, right, through the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. So you're gonna get to see, these things continue to grow, right? You're gonna see the empowerment of that the other nations ultimately will have once they get into their own lands after they thousand long hard years of captivity, right? Once they get put back in their own lands, they're gonna have a greater sense of achievement because they're not underneath a wicked ruler, man.
Yep. I had a
Number
precept to add. I had a precept to add to that right quick because it said a wise king invests in his realm with intensive building and skills development, right? And this is what we're being put through right now. Intensive building and skills development, being fashioned to have the mind of a ruler. Okay. How are we making this investment? By sacrificing our time, our energy, all right, to focus our mind on the things to come, laying our treasures in heaven. I got a quick precept, Matthew 6:19. It says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Right? We consider what this says, like a wise king investing in his realm. This isn't our rest. This isn't our realm. So we have no business building here and developing our enterprise, our kingdom in this world that's already been destined to be taken out.
Exactly.
Right? Verse 20, it says, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Okay, so we're making that investment right now to have that return where we have, Lord willing, sovereignty, all right, to be a part of the first fruits.
Uh-huh.
Right.
You got a precept?
No, no, I was about to read the number 6 on the article.
Okay, Kyle, before you get that, Cornell, you about to say something, Salaki?
Oh yeah, well, just laying back off what Tazawan was saying, each brother, like even right now, you're in your own realm, right? So
Yeah.
it's upon your like we titled the lesson, act like a king, right? You gotta have dominion over your situation, right? You have to conquer whatever demons you fight. You gotta conquer whatever situations that you're in. You gotta overcome these things as a king would overcome these things, man. Like the brother said, you invest into your realm. How do you invest into your realm, man? You do this, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You read, you study, right? You do the lessons, right? And then you character build, right? Whatever flaws you might have, you work to mitigate those things, man, right? And it's because of the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. He's purging out all these unwanted qualities, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Could a brother get you got Esdras, get thine house?
Yeah, I got it. Before I read it, I wanted to add to what Cornwall was saying because you are investing in your realm. All right, it starts in your mind first. Let me read this, and I'm gonna go into my point. So this is 2nd Ezra 14 and 14 or 13. Like it says, now therefore set thine house in order and reprove thy people, comfort such of them that be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. So it says setting thy house in order. The realm starts within your mind, but then it expands to your actual house. All right, with your family, then your house, then everything you pretty much have control over in your life. That's your kingdom that you're establishing, and then eventually, like I said, through the Spirit, the Lord is going to actually give us a kingdom that we're actually going to be able to, manifest to our liking. When we get that power. But you got it, you want.
I pretty much was gonna say the same thing.
Beautiful.
Finish it out. It says, let go from the immortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times, because as a king, man, and you have no room for weakness. All right, because as the leader of the people, okay, you have to show forth that strength, to be able to lead even through different hardships. All right, that's why
Mhm.
as a leader, you can't show weakness to your to the people that's under you,
That's
because then,
right.
like you said, that's when you'll question your leadership, your rulership, and this is where sedition, all that stuff will begin to take place, man. You know.
That's right.
But I had one more too, because you mentioned about how a wise king, will pretty much invest in what he's doing. So this we seeing the opposite of how this is taking place. This is Ecclesiastes 10:16. Woe to thee, O land, when thy king is a child, and thy princes eat in the morning. Okay, because Esau is like that bad spoiled child who doesn't respect what has been given. So
Right.
this
Right.
nigga is destroying everything, man, because
Mhm.
a child doesn't have wisdom. He has to be taught. He refuses to receive instruction, as it says in Job 21 and Psalms 10. All right.
Right. Now, if I may say too, priest, even
Mm-hmm.
going into that eating in the morning, right? You go into like the kings of old, right? They would naturally go on fast because they knew you get up, you handle your duties throughout the kingdom for the day, and then you sit down to eat after you've gone through councils, right? You've
Mm-hmm.
gone over whatever plans for the day. You might have to go to like a war table meeting,
Mm-hmm.
but you wouldn't do all that stuff on a full stomach because you'd be sluggish the whole day, right? So you
Yeah.
do all that on an empty stomach, right? You don't eat in the morning, and then you can, as the night starts to come up, then they would eat and enjoy the feast or whatever they had taking place, man. Because
Yeah.
it wasn't time. Like the morning time is when you take care of your duties, and then you can have your alone time as a king, man.
Man, that's a heavy
Yep.
point. Yeah, because
Con.
when you have that empty stomach, you pretty much have more clarity of the mind, man. This
At
nigga
this,
Esau was just eating. Go ahead, Fly.
Right.
no, at the same time, but that's also going into Esau's like instant gratification, because
Yep.
like you were saying, they pretty much like eat breakfast, but that's because that's the mindset of Esau. He wanted right now. He takes
Mm-hmm.
care of the like you going to priest, pretty much earn your free time. Like what Quanawaf
Mm-hmm.
said, you want to earn your free time and get what you got to get taken care of before saying you get your own free time or your
Mm-hmm.
alone time, I guess, so to speak.
Leisure.
Take care of what's important.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So finishing it out, verse 17. Blessed art thou, O land, when thy king is the son of nobles, and thy princes eat in due season for strength and not for drunkenness. All right.
Mhm.
So as it says, man, blessed is the land when the king is the son of nobles. And as we open the lesson with, the Lord has made us a nation of kings and priests. We are that noble vine, that was set here to pretty much establish and run the world the correct way the Lord commanded us to, man. Because like
That's right.
going back to Adam, Adam was the first priest, you know, pretty much the first king of the land. All right, and our duty as being, the kings and priests is to bring governance to the world, man. And this is why
Mhm.
the world is in this state, because the one that's in rulership, he's not governing the world correctly, man.
That's right.
Uh, I want to get this definition real quick. It reads, for nobility. It says a rank or status, the state of being, it's like the state or quality of being exalted in character, right? So you have to be, have a higher uh, self esteem, man. You have to have a higher regard and requirement for yourself, man.
That's right.
Right? You have to. It's like jumping down. It says the state or quality of being morally or spiritually good, dignity, a socially or politically privileged class whose titles are conferred by descent or by royal decree. And
Mm,
who gives the decrees, man? Yahweh Bashem Shai, right? He's the king over the whole earth. So his word is final. He's made the decree, right? And it's conferred by descent because we're the blood descent, man. This is the royal bloodline, man. You
yeah.
got the wicked royal bloodline over there in England, and then you got the righteous royal bloodline, right, with the Israelites right now, man, with the elect and the hopeful elect out here, man.
Kind. I want to add to that definition. So when you look up the word king in the etymology, it says uh, noble birth, making a king etymology. How do you say this word? It says one who descended from noble birth, or the descendant of a divine race. So we're the only true kings of the world because, like I said, we are the Lord's people. All right, we are the sons of God, man. Yasharala, man. All right, so we're the true rulers of this world, man. And this is why the Lord is fashioning us to get back into that mind state to know how to rule, so that when we get that power, man, we're going to be able to enact what we think.
Yep.
Hey, like we taught the lesson, act like a king, man. Right? You're kings, man. Act like it. Right? Stop doing the same. Stop. Tripping over the same stumbling blocks. Right? Better yourself. Have more. What's the word? Higher self-esteem. You know. Take care of your mental, your spiritual, your physical. Right? Do the things that a king would do. Right? Don't be out here. Thinking yourself like you're the rest of Jake out here, man. Right? We call ourselves the hopeful elect, right? Being humble about it, but we continue, we endure. Lord willing, that's us, man. So we have to carry ourselves in such a manner, man. Right? You can't be out here with your head down, right? And you can't be out here living the life, right, and carrying about, right, as if you're not a king, man. You got to do things, as nobility would do, man.
That's right.
That's right.
Back to the article. All right, and it says number 6 knows that his voice is heard by both friend and foe. Unempowered people may complain, my voice doesn't count. There is nothing I can do to affect change. A true leader knows that his voice is heard in heaven. It is not arrogance, but boldness in his relationship to Yahawashi HaMashiach that gives the leader confidence in his dealings with the Most High and dealings with the enemy.
We got the Lord on our side, man. Right? That's where our confidence lies. That's the boldness that brothers can come and teach with, man. Come and speak with, right? You have that confidence because you believe, what the scriptures tell us, man. Right? The promise are said, that we're going to be those established rulers, should we endure, right? So why would we, carry ourselves in any other fashion, man? Right? We know we're in captivity, so we do these things in balance and, and within our strength. But it's the mindset, like Priest may mention, that has to be established first, man.
I got precept. This is Kohelet, Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 1. It says, who is as the wise man, who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed. And it's the spirit, ultimately the faith coinciding with the fear that gives brothers and believers that boldness to stand on that rock, which is Yahawashi. Belief on Yahawashi, which is the scriptures, that allows that boldness, the boldness.
Right. It's like I said, it's not arrogance, man. Right? You can't be arrogant about something that is going to happen or that is the truth. Arrogance implies a false sense of confidence, man. This is true confidence, right? We believe these things to be wholeheartedly true, so we carry ourselves in like fashion, man.
Okay. I got something to add to that. This is Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7. It says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. So the point being, it says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so he is. So, hey, if you're calling yourself a king, you're thinking that you're a king, you got to act like it, man. All right? How you perceive yourself in your mind, all right, it will show forth on how you walk, man. So like Cornwall just said, we got to act like kings, man.
I have something right fast as well. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 41 and verse 10. It says, fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy power. I will strengthen thee. Yeah, I will help thee. Yeah, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Right. So as the brother Yuam has said, right, having that rock of confidence, standing upon Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right, we have the assurance, all right, in our confidence, right? The Lord is telling us to fear not. The Lord is telling us that he's with us, to not be dismayed, to know that we'll be strengthened through him, and that he will be our help. All right. And the scriptures, what's so beautiful about it is that the scriptures provide actual testimonies of our foreparents that they were put into situations where their confidence was shown in the Lord. And we enter into that steed.
All right. So as we, continue to get closer until Yahweh Shah's return, man, we got to make sure that our minds are where they're supposed to be at, because we're gonna need that utmost confidence in Yahweh Shem Yahushua leading it into these times of Jacob's trouble, man. So I got one more. This is Revelation 3:11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. Whoever can speak on it.
Yeah,
hold on
fast.
to it.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Hey, man, hold on to this thing with dear life, man. Right? This is the only thing you should be focused on, really, man. Everything else gets the leftovers. You give this your undivided attention, right? And you're gonna receive that crown, man. It's already yours, right? Like I said, that no man shall take thy crown. The crown is right there, right? You gotta play defense, against Satan and the wiles of this devil, right? To keep your crown, right? And you have to hold on to this truth, for dear life, man.
That's right.
Yep. I got a quick precept to add to you, bro. This for you. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, and verse 32. Matter of fact, I'll start at 31. It says, therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat? So like in Matthew's 6 and 31. Therefore, take no thought, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek, for your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all these things. Verse 33, the point, it says, but seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
Man, all these things, man. It all starts with seeking the kingdom, man. With the precept brought out, right? Wisdom bringeth to a kingdom, right? So this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? The closer you get to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the better relationship you form with the Lord, man. Right? You're going to be given all these things, right? You're going to be given eternal abundance, man. Right? You're going to be given rulership, dominion. You're going to be given the realm, right, to govern over, man. And it all starts with establishing yourself in this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man.
Okay, I got that for you. This is 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 1. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man, and keep the charge of the Lord thy power, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments, and his judgments, and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whither thou turnest thyself, that the Lord may continue his word which he spake concerning me, saying, if thy children take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth with all their heart, and with all their soul, there shall not fail thee, said he, a man on the throne of Israel. So this was the keys that was given to teach you on how to sustain the kingdom, man. And you gotta keep and trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Right? Keep his ways, man. And hey, we're gonna be established forever when we get on the throne, man. So everything that we're going through right now, like you said, we're pretty much being trained up, all right, to receive that crown. So the Lord already has it set for us. Like you said, we're playing defense against Satan to make sure that crown, gets put on us when we get that get into that ceremony, Lord willing, like it says in 2 Ezra chapter 2.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Yawam, you can finish that last paragraph out, because it's pretty much ties everything together, like what Priest just made mention of, man. Right, everything that we're doing through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is ultimately going to bring us to this kingdom, man. Right, it's going to establish the throne of righteousness. Right, brothers is going to be set up as kings, and we're being developed, right, slowly but surely, right. But like scriptures say, these days are being quickened, man. Right, so everything is being quick. So it's a greater requirement, for you to enact these things into your life, man. Right, the Lord is going to start cutting things off, and he's giving you an opportunity to cut them off yourself, before he forces you to cut them off, man. And he's not going to be, he's going to be heavy-handed, man. He's not going to, play delicate with you, when he takes things out of your life, man.
Right.
So you might lose 2 or 3 things at once when you could have just cut one thing off. And then
oh man, you don't want to get it to the point where you made the Lord get up, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got me something,
Exactly.
I'm finishing it out. It says the actions and attitudes of leaders can bring either freedom or repression to others. With this in mind, we humble ourselves before the Most High and attend godly counsel. we then give ourselves expressing the heart of Yahushua, our King, and increasing his influence through faithful administration of love and authority in the realm entrusted to us.
Mm-hmm. And he's entrusted us, right, with these bodies, with this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right, in this realm that we're currently in. But he's preparing us to be entrusted with greater realms, man, right? Like scriptures say, in my father's house are many mansions, right? You know, some brothers may have planets that they're being entrusted over, man, right? A galaxy, you know, who knows, right? But you're being entrusted in this administration, right, through Yahweh Shai, right? And he's as his influence is increasing in us, man. So, like John said, you know, I must decrease and he must increase, man. Right. So,
Exactly.
Yahweh Shai should take up, you know, more and more of us as we, you know, put off ourselves, man.
That's right.
But that's all I had, priest.
Yeah. So, anybody had anything else?
La.
All right. So, hey, Lord willing, man, this lesson was edifying. All right, we're gonna close it out by giving all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Shekar Kodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us his truth and that rule well. And peace and salutation to the elect that's out here laboring. Keep pushing. We almost home. All right. So with that, we want to say shalom.
Shalom.